Hello and happy Mercury Day. Hello. Let's just get into the video, honey pie. Okay. So one of the main things that I talk about on my lot is boundaries. I speak about this a lot because over the past recent years, having to really uphold and set boundaries with people has been so important. It's been very prominent, but it's also been very beneficial for me and my well-being. Okay, right? Um, but specifically over the most recent years, I'll say probably just like the over a year or two, I've just been really having to set them with family as well too, right? And you know, ideally one doesn't dream of having to set boundaries with family because these are your family, and families, they're supposed to be there for you and like and loving and all of that jazz or whatever. But what happens when you're born into a family, right, that needs psychological help, right? What happens when you're born? What happens when, how do I say this, what happens when the woman who gave birth to you or whatever don't even like you, motherfucker? What are you supposed to do then, huh? Exactly. um and just being in this period as well too, right, like has been really showing to me that, like, yo bitch, you cannot value how other people feel, this and that, over how you're feeling, okay? um And I will say that's not been a struggle, but it took some time for me to really come to this realization, because one of the things that the people in my family like to do, specifically my mom and my grandmother, they like to dangle the fact that, one day you're gonna miss me, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone, this and that, this and that, this and that, more or less guilt tripping you, right? And, just like imagine from a kid, right? Just hearing that all the time, right? You're going to feel bad. You're going to feel wrong for wanting to set a boundary or not wanting to really engage with a person anymore because, oh man, because they're going to feel bad or they're going to die soon. And I, not soon, but one day perhaps, right? But you know what I'm saying? That right there makes it hard to really want to set a boundary. Another thing that has happened in my family, like a lot, was another thing that they like to do is they really run off of guilt tripping. One of the things that I spoke about this in one of my videos, how one of the things that my grandmother likes to do is, like, if I have something, right, if I'm eating something I really like, she'll be like, oh, can I have a piece, right? And then if I'm like, when I was like younger, it would be clear that I don't want to share that because it's like, it's mine and I'm just enjoying it. She's like, oh, like, it's just testing you, I don't really want it. Like, who the fuck does that shit? Can this kid eat, girl? But hey, over the last, recently it's just been becoming so much important to me that I really cannot prioritize how any of these motherfuckers feel over how I feel, okay? Because if I keep prioritizing their feelings over mine, bitch, I might as well become a doormat. Okay, that's really what I might as well what I. It's probably what I should be. No, I don't want to be that, but I'm saying if I allow, one of the things that my mother hits me with the most is, I can already tell you're the kind of daughter that when I get older, you're not gonna take care of me. You're not gonna want to do anything for me. Thank God I have siblings who love me and want to take care of me. Well, glad, honey, I'm glad you have them. I'm glad you got them because you don't get to, like, just treat your kid like you don't like them. You don't get to dismiss your kid all the time and everything of this nature. Never support them. And you want me to what? Take care of you when you're older. My mother literally told me like a month ago I have no purpose. She literally told me I have no purpose a month ago. This is a woman who literally, it hurts her. Like it's like hard for her to give me a compliment or to be supportive. This is coming from the woman who is always accusing me of being out to get her and wanting to sabotage her. What? What is wrong with you? Is she not aware that she's just telling on herself? Because for you to continuously keep, um, what's the word? What's the word? Accusing a person of doing something that they're not even doing, you're telling on yourself, sweetie. Everything that happens, oh, you're doing this to get back at me, right? Because I'm just such a bad mom. that right there in itself shows that you feel guilty for your lack thereof. But anyway, right? Like, this is somebody who, like, I cannot even go talk to, right? I get dismissed all the time, right? Like, when I was doing well, like, I'm doing well every single day, and I'm grateful for that. But what I mean to say is, like, around, like, last year, like I said, when I was able to really get to, like, have my own source of income by, like, just doing tarot and everything of this nature, I had to keep that to myself because I knew that my mother wouldn't be happy for me. She would not be happy to know that I was making money for myself by doing something that I love. I had to keep that a secret. What daughter dreams of having to, like, keep parts of their life secret because they know that their mom deep down isn't going to be happy for them? Who the fuck wants that? And I think that one of the main reasons, of course, just for why she just treats me like this, and this is not me, like, being like, it is what it is, but I'm just giving examples, right? But, like, I think one of the main things is just because, like, there's just, like, a lot of resentment towards me or whatever. I think what it is as well, too, because she sees me living for myself and doing what I want and not, like, living to, like, appease other people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to describe it, but there just seems to be resentment for what I don't fucking know. But who the fuck tells their child they don't have a purpose? What is wrong with you? Okay, and just like all, like, the little interactions in the day to day and everything of this nature makes it 100% clear this bitch don't love me, and you're gonna be shocked, bamboozled at the fact that I don't want to, like, really be around you. And everything is always my fault. Everything is always my fault. Like, about a week or two ago, she forgot her charger because I had borrowed a charger or whatever, and she forgot her charger, and she calls me to tell me that, oh, because I borrowed her charger, she forgot her charger, and she wasn't able to do something on her phone that she planned to do because it was my fault. It was my fault that she couldn't do it. Everything of this nature, right? And then we also have my grandmother as well too, who's another motherfucker who I just, like, every day just gets on my nerve. I don't talk to her anymore or anything of this nature, but, like, there's just another one, like, like, when you just sit. Let me slow down. I feel like I'm talking fast. When you're just, like, sitting down and you just think about how people got you fucked up, and that just kind of gets on your nerves. It's like that, right? Hold on. Sorry. Like, as I've stated multiple times on here, the fact the last job for me with my grandmother was her telling me that my parents should have never made me, and then lying and saying how I told her that, and then that's why she said, like, just kind of twisting the whole scenario. That right there was the last straw for me. You don't get to tell your granddaughter that her parents should have never made a kid like her, and then expect everything to be fine and dandy. You need medication, right? Like, and with my grandmother, I've had a rocky relationship with her since I was, like, little, right? And it's always been that way. Um, and she's the kind of person who she needs to be in a relationship with the person where there's, like, a lack of boundaries and everything of this nature, because she kind of, her thing is manipulation and, like, control. Um, like, but yeah, that was, like, the last straw for me with my grandmother. And just for her to just be accusing me and calling me just, like, a liar, how, oh, you've always been, like, a liar, and just her accusing me of something that I literally know would happen, because like I was just so shocked to see that she was just twisting it. And this, like, girl, I'm not a kid anymore, so, like, you can't really make me be confused about myself. I know what the fuck just happened. It happened. What was I saying, though? Anyway, just her calling me liar, just, like, just really made me think about all the times when I was, like, a kid, and I was just being choose of stuff and everything of this nature, and that's just like not how it went, and just me just being confused within myself from like a little kid. My grandmother is someone who just likes to dim my shine, like my light, like me being happy and passionate about something infuriates her. You know how many times she's tried to stop me from taking care of the cats because it's supposedly, like, something is seriously wrong if seeing someone love and wanting to take care of animals infuriates you, right? Like, the screws ain't really screwing. So there's like just like that, but yeah, there's a whole kind of stuff with my grandmother. Okay, she doesn't respect boundaries. Okay, don't even get me started on the fact that when I was younger, she definitely wasn't respecting my boundaries. That's all I'll say for that, at least for like right now. But you know, and with her, I think about the fact that like she's acting as if that didn't happen, and she's trying to get things to get back to normal now. And I was thinking about like the fact a few days ago she sent me an apology like some months ago, but the apology being, I'm sorry that you think this is the way it went. I'm like just kind of just being like, yeah, like I'm sorry that you think this is how it went down. So she's not even actually apologizing. She's apologizing like, oh, I'm like that. It's like somebody like I'm sorry that you think that like that's how it went down, but that's like not how it shove that apology up your ass, no lube. So like with my grandmother, like there's strictly like I don't communicate or with her anything unless like I need to or whatever. And she keeps trying to break the boundary. She keeps trying to just like, whatever. And in the beginning, with her trying to nudge her way in, like I was feeling like a little bit bad, just like, oh, like, this is my grandmother, like I miss her and everything of this nature. But then I always fall back on she is what, 80 years old? She had 80 fucking years to get her act together to understand that, like, you know what? No, you don't get to treat a person this way and expect them to still be in your life all the time or just to be bending over for your whatever, right? 80 fucking years. I don't even know how old she is, but you've had almost a century, bitch, to get your act together and to, to come to that realization, right? It doesn't take an Einstein, right? Right. Um, and with her, like I said, her thing is manipulation and control. 2 weeks ago, she had to go in for some kind of procedure. The day before her procedure, she texted me talking about, um, it's not a good thing to be in debt nor whatever. Like, I'll pay for your school, whatever money you have. I still would have done this for you even if like things weren't the way they are right now. She keeps giving money. She keeps trying to get me food. Like, oh, she just keeps wanting to give me stuff, to buy me stuff. That's the key word there. Buying, 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 buying. But if there's one thing I learned from another family member in this house, shall I say, is that sometimes that gift giving doesn't require much, right? Because it's more or less a source of bribery. I'm not saying, because I know that's like one of the, like the love languages or whatever, but sometimes it's more or less just bribery, Oh, my parents, they pay for me, they pay, they take care of me financially, whatever, so they must be really good parents. No, that's not how it fucking works. Grateful that they, whatever, but what about your emotional needs and everything else? Okay, are you just being given stuff to just make you shut up? Yeah. So when I saw the text about my school, I didn't even respond to it, honey. I didn't even fucking reply because you must have bumped your head. But anyway, that's like how my grandmother rolls. It's bribery. She likes to everything for her is just like buying things or giving money or something of this nature as a form of trying to dust everything under the rug. Whatever. Um, Whenever I would have an argument with her or my mom, it was always me at the end of the day, at the end of the night, going to them and being like, I love you and have a good night, right? Because me being me, way younger than them, being a little kid, understood the fact that, from a little kid, I was thinking about death, honey, okay? The fact, just me being that age, I was aware of the fact that, tomorrow is not promised to everybody. And, that right there in itself just showed to me the importance of being grateful for the people that I have for me like right now, and not carrying like anger, going to bed anger, just like remorseful, you know, like therefore just me saying I love you and have a good night, right? I don't do that shit no more. Not that that part of myself is gone, but I'm in a place now of removing that part of myself from people who don't respect it, more or less here. That's really where I'm at like right now, okay? If I don't say I love you to my mom, she doesn't really say it. She doesn't say it. So that's where I'm at like right now. Like I think in the beginning stages of like setting boundaries, sometimes it can be very uncomfortable because then now you're thinking about, oh, like they're my family, like you know, like this and that. But just give it some fucking time. Just give it some time to fucking marinate, and then I like this like all the times in which they've had me fucked up has been coming up more and more and more, or whatever. Not in a sense of just like real like just to like really like realize it or whatever, and it's been like really helping, shall I say. Hold on. Oh, you're joking. I think my mother's home. I don't care. I mean, what I say. But all of this stuff, more or less here to say is that like yeah, like you don't it that like that's just like not fucking normal, right? That's not, you don't treat people like that. Like that's just not fucking normal. More or less here. I don't feel like I have any privacy anymore. I really fucking don't. But the moral of this video, more or less, is here that like I cannot prioritize the feelings of other people over how I feel. Um, because then that would just like leave me being a doormat, and I'm not a doormat. You know, it doesn't take an Einstein to know that you shouldn't treat people in a way that you wouldn't want to be treated, yet expect them to, you know, just always be there for you. That's wrong and that's fucked up. And the rules cannot be bent, not even for family. It doesn't really fucking matter. It can't be bent for nobody. Um, and yeah, that's more or less like where I'm at like right now, just like realizing the importance of it. And honestly, it's been like very nice. Like I've been in a much more peaceful state, I shall say, especially like mentally and everything of this nature. Because truthfully, what it is, I just saw a cute squirrel hopping from one tree to the next. But truthfully, like what it is as well too, that like at the end of the day, family they don't have to mean anything unless you really like, because they're just people that you just happen to be born around. But the whole thing of the whole notion of just like, oh, like these are like my family, so I have to, you know, like I have to stick with them and everything. That's bullshit. That's just bullshit. Um, you know, just being born into family doesn't make people family. Genetically, sure, but from what a family really means, no. So yeah, I think that's all I want to say for now.